Hello everyone, this is Dan and welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on the Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate it. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a shared collective reading, therefore it may apply, it may not, or only parts of it may apply. If it does apply, please utilize it to the best of your ability. If it doesn't apply, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything wrong or broken. You're not, doing anything wrong. It is originally created for Saturday the 16th of July, but it is not solely set for that date. It can be utilized whenever you're viewing it. So if it shows up in your feed at a certain time, I believe that Spirit or our higher self finds a way to get us the messages when we need them rather than when they were originally created for. If you're new to me, please check out the drop-down menu below the video. In there is housekeeping rules, ways to get in contact with me for a private reading, what decks I'm using, all of that information is in there, and great ways to support the channel. If you want to support the channel, an easy way to do that is just to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video goes up. I do put daily content. The other thing is that you can hit that like button. That greatly helps me too if you're enjoying the content. Leaving a question or comment and sharing the video out helps too. So if you want to share it on your social media or in groups where it can be best utilized and it's acceptable, please do so. And this is the daily forecast. Let's see what's going on, which card comes out. I will reference the Sunday reading, which is the underpinning energy, and that populates in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading, so you can check that out too. Okay, so let's see what these cards want us to know. This card stock is just, it's too bad because I like the deck, but it's just not the best card stock. So we have the Knight of Cups, and it is romance, seduction, and idealistic. We have two polar bears there kind of loving on each other. It's a mother polar bear and a child, so it's very nurturing to me. The Knight of Cups is often, it's associated with water, the element of water, which is our emotions. He is a very romantic card. He's usually presenting in a way that is open emotionally, in service, compassionate, kind, loving, loyal. It feels to me like when I look at this, we've had some interesting, underpinning this in the Sunday reading is the Seven of Swords, right? Which is sort of like a liar or betrayal card, a thief in a way, right? It's not a positive card by any means. But to me, it looks like with this Knight of Cups, we can be counterbalancing whatever negativity or challenge that we could be facing with compassion and love, right? Some of you could be feeling, more emotionally available with this card being present today. So allowing for that and being, my impression is strong in that. The Knight of Cups is strong in his dedication, in his awareness, in his compassion, right? So if we are facing a situation, or if there is something that we're challenged by right now via that Seven of Swords, the Knight of Cups allows us to sort of balance that out emotionally and approach it with love or compassion rather than like resistance, fight, or discord, right? The Knight of Cups is going to settle in to it, and in my interpretation, he's going to do the best that he knows how, right? So if that's even just being kind to us during a trying situation, being kind to our own self while we're going through this or while we're looking at this or realizing whatever it is we need to be realizing, the Knight of Cups is about caring for ourselves or those around us more so than, resisting them or being angry with them or fighting against it. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like lining up and getting in the flow of things rather than swimming upstream or trying to change things, right? There's an acceptance with the Knight of Cups. There's a love and an honor with the Knight of Cups that we want to do or that we want to channel today for ourselves or for those around us. Let's look at the White Light Oracle. We have Sacred Scar card number 11, which is a mastery card. We've seen her before. We've seen her twice this month thus far. She's a beautiful card. I love that she's looking at that Knight of Cups card kind of in love, not in love, but like in acceptance and peace in a way, right? I love that she's sort of vulnerable and naked and facing forward, even though her body is facing forward in the present moment, even though she's looking down at that Knight of Cups. So to me, these two cards together speak to this idea of nurturing ourselves and attaining maybe an emotional or spiritual mastery over areas where maybe we've been harmed, hurt, or not told the truth. I'm not saying that we should be in acceptance of people lying to us or betraying us or situations not working out in our favor, but these two cards together say to me that we don't necessarily have to take it on as a permanent hurt or as further upset or damage, right? Emotionally or spiritually. Does that make sense? So these two, and I also love that the Knight of Cups is usually oftentimes a masculine card, and this Sacred Scar is very feminine. So there's this balance between these two. There's a nurturing aspect to this, especially with that mother polar bear, that speaks to this idea of putting maybe ourselves and our own emotions and our own compassion first, right? Rather than allowing ourselves to, I don't know, get into blame or shame or sadness around a situation. Now let me read you Sacred Scar. Let me get my glasses, 1 second. The 11 number in Sacred Scar is also quite powerful, right? So it is about spiritual mastery to a certain degree. So remembering that there's an opportunity here to sort of evolve or change or shift our perception to a place of love rather than fight, that could be quite healing. So, Sacred Scar, your inner and outer scars are marks of your soul's courage. They are signs of strength and survival, of your willingness to be alive. The Sacred Scar speaks of that which once caused pain being transformed into higher knowledge and inner power. And that pain could be the Seven of Swords underneath it, guys, underneath this. Trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You can trust your healing process and in the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. You are strong and you shall flourish on all levels. Some experiences are hard to weather, even when our intention is to trust. Going through a challenging time is likely to give rise to suffering. Consider the mother eagle raising her precious eaglets in the sanctuary of a meticulously padded and fiercely defended nest. They know safety and comfort until one day the mother, who provided unceasing nurturance, abruptly pushes them out of the nest and into the air. She knows this is how they will learn to fly. For the eaglet, there is not yet any such knowledge, disoriented and disturbed, but eventually innate instincts overtakes confusion, and those brave little eaglets begin to flap their fledgling wings during the plummet from the nest. They've learned the purpose of the tough lesson and grown. The trauma of disruption became their initiation into power. You don't have to enjoy the process of growth, but you can always trust it has your best interests at heart. However, do not confuse negative, especially traumatic experiences as something Spirit has inflicted upon you. Spirit would love your growth to happen in the most joyful and peaceful ways possible. As your relationship to Spirit heals and strengthens, this can be the way you grow more often than not. However, Spirit also knows that sometimes we are to move through intense experiences before we can gain access to the light. Those experiences can teach us things only those who have truly suffered and brought their suffering to consciousness and healing can know. The lessons learned include compassion, wisdom, strength, and fearlessness, faith in Spirit and in humanity, and the recognition of the challenges of awakening whilst having trust in the ultimate power of the light. That would be the Knight of Cups, guys. Such a soul becomes one truly badass and divine human being, a powerful healer and a light bearer in this world. The Oracle of Sacred Scar lets you know that your greatest struggles are the pathway to your potential. You are not being punished. Those circumstances have not been imposed upon you by Spirit, but Spirit will work with you to free you of the negativities and bring you into the light, stimulating the sacred alchemical wisdom within your heart that knows how to distill goodness, grace, and healing from even the most terrible experiences. If you are deep in suffering now, know that Spirit is with you, loving you, and bringing you this oracle. You shall heal. Do not give up. Proceed until you are exactly where you most want to be. You have the inner Spirit to ensure even a negative experience will only cause positive growth in you and your life. The healing process. Place your hand at your heart. Take a deep and calming breath in and out. Repeat 3 times. Read or say the following aloud if possible. I am a divine soul on a sacred journey. The wounds that are healing are where the light is most active within me. When pain gets my attention, it is the divine wisdom within asking me to notice and learn something helpful and compassionate. Again, Knight of Cups, guys. My scars are signs of wisdom gained. The light can and will assist me in transforming even the most difficult struggles into holy paths of grace. Healing shall manifest completely, generously, and lovingly, according to divine timing for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I am grateful, strong, and blessed. Rest, reflect. Are there issues you believe you cannot heal? Can you hand them over to Spirit with the belief they can and will be healed? Repeat the above statement if you feel it would help you anchor confidence and trust in your heart and mind. Ground, replenish, and hydrate yourself. You have completed your healing process. Now, here's the hidden truth card, something to ground it in or think about. I trusted you. So, this I trusted you with the 7 of Swords underneath it speaks to this idea of the betrayal that the 7 of Swords has within it, right? There could be something where we have to look at how we've trusted someone or allowed them to maybe betray us or take us for granted. And we may need to look at that through eyes that are sort of set in love and release that I don't know if it's a mistake, but that sort of trust that we may be placed in another and heal it through sacred scar, right? Also, I want to say there's another sort of vibe that I'm getting from this I trusted you card. I feel like this is also about taking trust in ourselves and knowing that we know how to do this. In Sacred Scar, it speaks about opening up to the negativities and not necessarily seeing them as punishments, but as routes and pathways to grow. So trusting our own higher self, our own compassion, our own ability to love ourselves and nurture ourselves through this can also be quite powerful and allow us to grow in ways that we don't necessarily see or understand, right, as we're moving through this. So I would say, ultimately, instead of focusing on where you were wronged, right, I would say, yes, you can acknowledge that you might have trusted someone and given them trust that was maybe, I don't want to say undeserved, but maybe they betrayed that trust. But I also feel like we can trust ourselves and our own judgment, even if we've made mistakes in the past, right? And that those mistakes have shown us that we can grow from them, we can learn from them, we can evolve and become stronger from them. So keep that in mind today as you move through this day. Don't necessarily harbor or dwell upon what was wronged, if that makes sense. Like, I almost want to say that this I trusted you says more about you as a person. Even if we made what would be considered a mistake by trusting someone else and them, lying to us or betraying us, it says more to us as far as being open and available and compassionate and loving as a being, as a spirit, than it does about them. Does that make sense? And that should be embraced and loved, ultimately. And that would be also Sacred Scar and the Knight of Cups. So acknowledge that today as who you are and the purity of that. That is your forecast. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and stay compassionate towards yourself, at least. Bye-bye.